manifest the symptom, go and see a doctor. Now, it may seem as if like TB has gone away. Sometimes you can even take the drugs to a point where it becomes latent, becomes dormant, sleeping inside. And that's why it's important for you to, if you are infected and you develop the symptoms, you go to the doctor. They can tell you what to take to ensure that it goes permanently. They can take you and they can tell you what to do to ensure that it is treated permanently. It is treated permanently. So yes, we take a lot of things for granted. That's one thing I know about, some of us. We take a lot of things for granted, like our health. And this show here is every day to remind us of the importance, of the need to stay safe, of the need to pay attention to our health. And you already heard that some of these, the latent TB, will not manifest any symptoms whatsoever, right? So it can be there somehow for a period of time, long period of time. You can have latent TB, can be healthy, you'll be moving about, you don't manifest any symptom. But when we do periodic and regular checks, which we encourage here all the time, you can pick up these things and treat them while they still can. You can treat them while they still can. Now, there have been global efforts to combat TB, and these efforts, according to WHO report, have saved an estimated 75 million lives since the year 2000. Since the year 2000. And now there's an SDG goal, which is a sustainable development goal of the United Nations, to end the TB epidemic by 2030. It is among the health plans that they have. But how can we end it if we don't, do the right thing, and if we don't ensure that we keep ourselves safe and stay healthy from this epidemic called tuberculosis? Now, I've told us that we have latent TB, we have the active, the inactive, and the latent TB. These are all three types of tuberculosis that, there's the primary infection, that's the inactive, or how is it being called, but it's called primary infection. Then there's the latent TB infection, and there's the active TB infection. The primary infection is when you get exposed, the first time when you get exposed to someone who already has TB. And let me tell you, it's an airborne disease. It can be spread, through air. It is not spread by sharing kitchen utensils. It's not spread by hugging somebody or what have you. It is spread majorly when the droplets, when someone sneezes, someone that has it sneezes, and the droplets of that sneeze or whatever it is, the air, it contaminates the air and you inhale that air. That is how you get it. It's an airborne disease, so you can contact it by just staying with someone. But again, it's not to say to discriminate the people that already have it, because it takes about 8 hours of staying with someone who is infected with tuberculosis to get tuberculosis. And that's why stigmatization is discouraged as much as possible. So the primary is when the first stage where the person contacts it from a person who already has active tuberculosis. Now, the latent TB infection is the one that can stay there for a very long period of time. You are not manifesting symptoms, you are not sick, nothing is wrong with you, but you have tuberculosis. Now, the active one is where you start to manifest all those symptoms like, weakness, sweating profusely, coughing for at least 2 weeks or more. When you start manifesting all of these symptoms, you have active tuberculosis, and you should go and see your doctor. You should go and see your doctor. There are certain conversations about tuberculosis we might not be able to have because we need to have a doctor here to break that down for us. But I'm just telling us the well-known facts, from research and the reports by the World Health Organization about tuberculosis. Now, people who are prone to being infected with such a thing are people whose immune system becomes weak. If your immune system is weak, it cannot stop the bacteria from growing. In fact, generally, when your immune system is low or is weak, it's easy for you to contact any disease or to get infected by any disease that is maybe airborne or what have you, because your immunity is suppressed and your immunity is weakened. TB can become active if your immune system becomes weak and cannot stop bacteria from growing. Remember, our immune system is supposed to fight against the bacteria, But when the immune system is weak, it cannot fight against the bacteria, so it makes you susceptible to receiving, the infection. How do they call it? Susceptible to having tuberculosis or any other infection for that matter. So how can you grow your immune system? By eating a balanced diet, eating healthy, not just healthy, by eating healthy food and a healthy quantity of food, healthy type of food as well. And you need a lot of food and fruit and vegetables as well to boost your immune system. It is super important. It is super important for us to have this information on our fingertips so that we can stay safe ourselves and we can, keep our loved ones safe. So if someone is infected with tuberculosis, like I said, is not to discriminate such a person, is to look for ways that you can help the person. And one of the ways you can help the person is ensuring that they go and see a doctor. Now, treatment for tuberculosis is absolutely free in government and primary health care centers. Absolutely free, from the testing to the drugs to the care. Every single thing that has to do with the treatment of tuberculosis is absolutely free. So there's no need to be scared, I have tuberculosis, it's going to cost a lot for me to treat it. It's absolutely free as long as you can go to a primary health care center or you can go to some of those government facilities